first thing I'm going to talk to you about is what you really need to do is make sure you're properly warmed up. I know this is the Business Ladies League. I know you ladies are working. Sometimes you're coming right from work, going out onto the golf course. You don't have much time. I completely appreciate that. But if you do have time, even if you have 5-10 minutes, spend it warming up. So important, and that's going to help you. Warming up is going to warm your muscles up. It's going to stop or prevent injury, but it will also warm your muscles up to get into better positions and create more flexibility, that will help you add distance. Okay. Now, some of these stretches I'm about to show you, some of them you think, well, that looks too goofy at the range. Don't make it feel like you're feeling goofy. I'm just telling you, this is going to help you. One thing, the shoulder area. So kind of shoulder area, rotator cuff. I like to just do some arm circles. And I know some people think that, kind of looks out of place, and I'll show you some other ones if you don't like this. I do kind of 10 backwards arm circles, 10 forwards arm circles, and then I just kind of go side to side. And again, I try to really push it just to get that upper body warmed up, get those shoulders warmed up. Another great one, and this one is very inconspicuous at the range. Take an iron, hold it with your top hand, and then your bottom hand, and then pull it down with your bottom hand. So now you're stretching up in here, pull it down, and again, you want to hold it for about good 4, 5, 6 seconds, and then pull it up with your top hand. Okay? You're going to stretch all up in through this part of your shoulder, and you won't believe the mobility that you'll get, again, which will help you add some distance. So again, holding up there, and then switch hands. Put the other hand on top, the other hand underneath, pull down first, and then after kind of 6, 7, 8 seconds, pull up. So lifting that up, and again, you're going to stretch that front part of that shoulder. Really is going to help you make a better turn and help your arms be able to swing and move where they need to move. Next, I like to just even do like side bends. You don't have to use your club or not, but just even something that you're, just kind of just stretching out to the side. You'd be so surprised, stretching out each of your sides, both your right side and left side. Obviously, we're all either a right-handed golfer or a left-handed golfer. One of the coolest things I saw was watching players warm up. I was at National. You saw my pictures. And watching players warm up with a right-handed player warm up with a left-handed club. And I'm watching, going, why on earth would a right-handed player warm up with a left-handed club? Well, you know why? It completely stretches out that other side of their body. Because if you think about it, all that's really getting stretched, if let's say you're a right-handed golfer, would be this side. Well, now if you're hitting this way, you're stretching this whole side of your body. So really, if you're thinking about the sides of the body, huge, and again, in being able to make that flexibility and make that turn. So very important when you're doing that. So again, really make sure, and again, I just like to take a club and just keep your legs straight and move to the side, and then and hold it. Again, hold it till you feel that stretch in through here. Legs. So many people talk about legs. I do a lot of corporate golf tournaments where I get to stand on a tee box and I hit balls against guys that are 6'4", 240 pounds, and I often outdrive them. These guys should be blowing it by me on sheer size alone, and the only reason that they can't is because they're not using their body properly. So, for instance, when a guy gets up to the tee and he doesn't want to let a chick beat him, so he's like, no way, no way, and so he's got like the death grip on the club, and then he swings with all arms, right? Well, even the guy with the biggest, strongest muscles, I have never seen a guy whose arms are stronger or bigger than my legs. So this is where your power comes from, ladies, not from your arms. And I see a lot of female golfers swing mostly with their arms. You got to use your legs. These are the strongest muscles for you, and then your core. And that's why little guys like Mike Weir can absolutely pound it out there. It's that strong core. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But again, so warming up the legs. So I like to even just use a club, hold my ankle, and what you want to do is push your front hip, just push it forward. You want to push it forward so you feel that stretch in your quadricep muscle. Again, you want to hold it for a couple of seconds, and then just do the other leg. Another huge key thing in terms of adding distance and accuracy is balance. Once you get good at this, sometimes I like to do it without a club, just to practice being in balance. And if you can hold this in balance, that's going to, again, really, really help you. Balance is very, very, very key in the golf swing. And then you also want to stretch your hamstring muscles. One way to do that, you can obviously have straight legs and just go down as far as you can and then hold that. And then you'll feel a stretch in your hamstrings. Or if there's a bench around or any sort of, nice flat surface, put your leg up and just lean forward. And again, enough, you don't want to be in pain, but enough that you can feel a stretch. And you'd be shocked at just warming your muscles up that little bit, how much extra mobility you can get. Really, really key. Now, for those of you that suffer with back pain, I know a lot of golfers have back pain or back issues. One really great stretch that I've used is clasping your hands together, put your knee in your hands, and you pull it down. You kind of tilt your shoulders back and forth like this, and you're going to feel lots of stretch in your upper back there, lots of stretch. Then, clasp your hands, move it towards your ankle. Again, this takes a lot of balance, so this is a great way to practice your balance. You can do this at home. This is something you can easily do at home. Put it down and go side to side. Again, going side to side, just like this. And you're pushing down with your lower leg, you're going to feel lots of stretching through there. Lots of stretching through there. So you're really going to, again, get that extra mobility. And then, again, just do it with your other side. Knee first, pull your knee down, moving those shoulders back and forth, and then move down to your ankle. Oh, and I can feel it really a lot in my lower back. Now, once you've done that, then I want you to take the club and slowly, do not do this too quickly, ladies, slowly go side to side, okay? And then just, as you're going, go a little bit further each time. Okay, so that each time you're going a little bit further, and you might hear some cricks and crinkles, but again, a really great way. Again, go slowly just to warm up that lower back, okay? So once you're warmed up, great. So now you've got your body properly warmed up, and then I watch a lot of players, now usually it's men, who will go straight to driver. So they go to the driving range and pull out the big dog, which I admit, that's my favorite club in the bag too. Not the way to warm up. You definitely want to warm up through your wedges. Go through your bag. If you have limited time, I like to go pitching wedge, kind of 8-iron, 6-iron, hybrid, something like that. So you want to warm up through your bag. And just part of what you're doing is just getting tempo. You just want to get tempo. So sometimes, you're getting up there, whether it's the mat or whether it's just the grass, and even just find yourself swinging back and forth. Just get some tempo. Just get some tempo. Just getting swinging and getting moving. I think that's so key and so important. So when you're hitting your wedges, again, you're not trying to rip at this. You're not trying to kill it. You're just wanting to make a nice swing, and get through the ball. Really important that you're always thinking of getting through the ball. Go. Pull a bit to the left. But again, just getting some nice height, and it's okay. You don't have to have it going dead straight every time. There we go. And if you're realizing, okay, well, geez, I'm pulling it to the left, one thing you want to look at is your divots. Find out, watch where your swing path is going. Divots can tell you a lot. So check out the grass. See how you're swinging. That's something you might not be looking at. That can really tell you the path of your shot. So that's why it's great to hit. It's good to hit off mats, but when you're playing, watch where your divots are, and even lay your club down in your divot to see, geez, which way is my club going? Okay, so which way is my body facing? So if you want to pick that target, and you want to swing towards that, and we'll talk a little bit more about target in a moment. There we go, and then you can adjust. So I knew I was hitting it a bit left, so whoopsies. Oops, a birdie. So again, having fun with it. But so when you're going through that, again, really important, and when you're practicing, is to don't just hit balls. Don't go out there and just hit balls. Practice with a purpose. All right? And something that's a great thing to do is, especially here, sometimes when you're stuck at driving ranges or whichever, and you can't always hit off the grass or if the courses are closed, is practice playing your course. So your first tee shot, what do you hit there? Do you hit a driver? And then what do you usually hit as your approach shot? Maybe you hit a 6-iron. So then you pull your 6-iron out, and obviously you can't practice your putting, but go through your course, your home course, or a course that you're very familiar with, and practice and use those same clubs. And again, always be thinking about what your goal is, and you want to watch where your divots are going, and think about your body movement. So I've moved up now, so to an 8-iron. Again, it's just about getting nice, smooth contact. I like to hit my irons a little. You'll notice I hit them a little higher. That has a lot to do with club head speed. So there we go. So just, again, as you notice, it's not like I'm crazy ripping at it, but it's just getting that tempoing and keep moving. Again, and part of that warm-up is just getting your body moving and feeling good about it. So that was pitching wedge, 8-iron. So I'll move up towards a 6-iron. And again, just moving up through that bag, I find of course the longer irons are a little tougher to hit. And so you take the practice swings. If you I find when I hit 2 poor shots in the row at the driving range, I stop, I take a practice swing, and again, slow yourself down. It's not a race. You're out there, it's not about getting through that bucket as fast as you can. It's about making sure that you have that good contact and learning, going, gosh, okay, if I just hit 2 balls to the left, what's wrong? What am I doing wrong? And fix it. Because otherwise you're going to start ingraining that poor muscle memory, and your body's going to think to keep moving that way. So really important for targets. Like I find targets are so important. We'll talk about that with driver as well. So for instance, if I'm going down this hole, I'm going to pick that white sign at the end as my target. So it's really important that you do line up to your target. So that white sign will kind of be my target. And what I like to do is I like to hold my club down that line. So I'll stand behind my ball. Always pick your target from behind your ball. I'm standing behind my ball, and I like to hold my club out right above my ball, heading straight towards my target. So now I look for an intermediate target in between there. And for me, I see this tuft of grass in front, but I'm going to be just slightly to the left of that, and that should be on my target. So then what you want to do now, ladies, this is the biggest mistake that I see most players make, is the first thing that they do is they get their feet all lined up, and they put their club down, and they're ready to go. Ladies, your feet aren't hitting the ball. It's your club face that's hitting the ball. So important to line your club face up to your target, okay? So you've got those grooves at the bottom, so you want to get that line facing perpendicular to your target. So if my target's that white sign, the first thing I'm going to line up is my club. Now, that sign is a long way away. That's why I've picked an intermediate target. So I told you this just left of this tuft of grass. So I'm going to line up that bottom line, that bottom groove line, to be perpendicular to that. Then I set my feet up. Okay, ladies? That's going to be huge in terms of your alignment. Now, I pulled that left. When I came through that, I came over the top. And when we talk about coming over the top, you talk about many different, people talk about coming in the slot here. I have a tendency to come over this way. And that can either cause a big pull or it can cause it right. So now that's what my swing thought is now. I'm going to focus on not coming over the top. So I still pick my target. I'm going to take that bottom groove line, face it at the target, now set up my feet, and I'm going to really try not to come over the top on this one. There we go. So it's just coming down just left of my target there. So again, so you have to, just thinking that, I went, boy, I sure pulled it on that first one. What can I do differently? So always thinking in your head, what am I doing wrong? Each shot, ladies, on every course, and on each hole that you're doing, each shot, ask yourself what you're doing wrong. If you watch PGA Tour players, when they're playing, you'll watch them and they'll hit a ball, and if they've hit a poor shot, you'll watch them and they'll stop and their caddies are moving off, and you'll sometimes even see them repeat their swing. You'll see them make a move because they don't want to have that bad thought. They're thinking, what did I do wrong? Each and every shot, what did I do wrong, or what did I do right? Okay, that's another great thing. In golf, don't just talk about what you do poorly. Think about what you're doing well, because every one of you knows you've hit that shot every round that brings you back the next game, and you're like, okay, I don't hate this game. I'm not going to snap my club. So when you have that good shot, what was it that felt so good? What did you do right? So talk about and think about what you did right. Now, we talk about technology advancements, absolutely huge. My coach tried forever to get me onto the hybrids, and I'm like, hybrids? No, I hit my 3-iron really well. I'm a long driver. I can hit 3-iron. Well, you know what? It's almost like cheating. I really, truly feel that hitting your hybrids are just absolutely, they're just easy to hit. They're so easy to hit. So if you don't have a hybrid, test one out. I know the Pro Shop carries them, but you can even get great sales. I shouldn't say this, but when a club company comes out with a brand new line, go to last year's line. You're looking at minimum 50% off. So if you're looking for a good deal, see what companies have come out with a new line and go buy last year's line. Because again, you'll get an amazing deal on that. And again, go to you can go, your pro shops will have those deals. And you know what? Demo clubs. Your pro shop will sell demo clubs too. And those are just clubs that have been used a few times. So what? As long as they don't have a scuff mark on them or something, give them a try, give them a whirl, and test out clubs before you use them. One last bit of advice. If you walk into a golf shop and someone's talking to you and they say, oh, you're a female, perfect, here's our ladies' clubs, and they show you their pink clubs, or, yeah, you know what? Don't buy it there. The most important thing, nowadays, all clubs are absolutely, they're top end, they're phenomenal. I can't think of a club company that doesn't put out a good line, because they wouldn't be in business. What's most important, ladies, and this is really key for you to know, is shaft. Shaft, shaft, shaft. The flex of your shaft has got to match your golf swing, okay? Now, some of you ladies, you look very athletic. That means you should be hitting at least, I would say, a senior flex, if not a men's regular, or even a men's stiff. I hit a men's stiff, and I'm not super, super strong, but so check, it's all about club head speed, what club head speed you can generate. So again, your pro shop should be able to do it here, or maybe if they can't, I'm sure they have equipment that'll be able to do that. Golf Town or any of those retailers, get your club head speed measured, okay? Or you could be using something that's too flexible for you. So maybe your errant shot isn't your swing, it's that your equipment is too flexible for you. And I find that with a lot of ladies, especially ladies who are a little bit stronger, maybe your equipment's too flexible for you. And so you want to hit the most flexible shaft you can control for maximum distance. So make sure you get your club head speed measured. I cannot say that enough. So important. So hybrids. Now, hybrids, a lot of people think because it looks like a wood, you kind of more want to sweep it. You don't want to sweep a hybrid. You still want to hit it like an iron, which means you still want to hit down on it. So really important to kind of get to that point that you're hitting down on it. There we go. I call my LPGA pose finish. That I just, when you hit a really good shot, you just kind of hold it. Don't you do that though on the course when you hit a good shot? You just kind of hold that finish a little longer. I totally do that. But hybrids, again, just that little bit easier to hit. Just I hit that versus a 4-iron. Like I have to work a little harder for 4. That just seems to just fly off the club. So again, I think that these are genius. If you don't have one in your bag, and again, you don't have to spend a lot of money on them because you definitely don't want to. It's expensive. I know it's an expensive sport, but that will help make your life. You'll be a happier person. You'll be a happier person with that. And then of course, for course management, off the tee, I don't always use driver off the tee. So sometimes if you're worried about hitting it straight, try your 3-wood off the tee, your hybrid off the tee. Heck, hit an iron off the tee. If you know a distance and you know you hit that club well, hit that off the tee instead of hitting a driver and blasting it all over the place. Okay, driver, this is my favorite club. I had to work up to it. I can't wait any longer. So, driver, we talk about equipment being just absolutely huge. So, equipment, we've got 460 cc's is kind of the maximum legal limit. And I hit a square driver. So, right now I'm hitting the square driver. I love it. But again, some people look down at it and go, ew. If you don't like the look of what your driver looks like, don't buy it. Even if you hit it, well, don't buy it. Because if you're going down, you're like, oh, that's disgusting. You're not gonna be happy about it. And golf is all about being in a happy place. You want to put yourself in a happy place. So again, for me, what's a happy place is what goes further. So I do like this. For me personally, I like this club. But there's round drivers and there's different shapes. Whatever it is, test it out. And again, ladies, shaft. That's the most important thing. Get a shaft that matches your club head speed, okay? The other thing is loft. Now, I use 8.5 degree of loft, which is very low loft. I use between 7.5 and 8.5, depending if I have headwind. I've used it up as low as a 6.5. Basically, the faster your club head speed, the higher you're going to launch the ball. The slower your club head speed, the lower you're going to launch the ball. So, you know what I bought my mom? My mom's a relatively new golfer. She kind of shoots in the 130s or so. I bought her what Nike calls a Sweet 16. It's a driver with 16 degrees aloft, and you know what? She loves it. It's easier for her to get it up. So, ladies, I would say most guys should be using 10, 11-degree drivers, and most ladies, again, this is more generalization. It depends on how fast your club head speed is, should be kind of in the 13-degree range or even higher. So check what your loft is on your driver, because if you're having trouble getting it off the tee, that could really help you, okay? So again, check that loft and make sure your shafts fit you. So important. Okay, now for driver. Now the tips I'm going to give you for driver, this is the same for irons as well, okay? So you can absolutely use these tips for irons. First of all, Butch Harmon said one of the easiest ways to gain distance, use a taller tee. If you're using one of those stubby little tees still and you have one of these fancy new big-headed drivers, you're losing distance, okay? You want to have at least half the ball showing over the top of your driver. And again, just having that bit of a taller tee, I would suggest if you have a fancy new driver, I would say at least a 2 3/4 inch tee. I use a 3 1/4, but that's because long drivers sometimes use a bit of a taller tee. You'll notice I have almost the whole ball above my club. You want to have at least half. Okay, so this is a little high, but that's because more that I do long drive. Have a girlfriend stand behind you, take a peek, stand behind the driver, and you want to see at least half the ball. Now, for those of you who wouldn't be used to this, you don't want it this high because you might get under it and put what we call like a sky mark or an idiot mark on. Yeah, I have one of those on my 5-wood, old 5-wood. But so be very careful. Only move up as you see fit. Start lower, just so you don't put that mark on your club. So that's the first tip. Use a taller tee. Again, if you have those bigger drivers. So again, the target. So the other thing is pick that target. So for driver on this one, I'll pick more that tree. Or because I see there's a tree. That's pretty big, hey? That tree. Then it doesn't look like I missed it all, right? Do you see how we have our 2 white markers there? So there's kind of like the kind of tree that's a little taller up through the 2 white. So I'm going to pick kind of that tree. I'm going to hold my driver out behind. I am noticing that green. My piece of grass is probably pretty much in line with that. So again, line your driver face up, your iron face, your hybrid, whatever it is, line that up first. So line that up to your intermediate target, and then take your stance. Okay? Now driver, you want to be hitting off so obviously if you look at where your ball is, in the middle of your stance, so this would be the dead center of your stance, that's where your pitching wedge should be. Your pitching wedge should be in the middle of your stance, and then as you move up, it goes up. So your pitching wedge, 9, 8, 7, and then the furthest one up is going to be your driver, and that's going to come off your lead foot. Okay? So that should be off the instep of your lead foot. That's where you want that to be. Now for me, I never quite know where that is. So you'll notice when my pre-shot routine, and I'll talk about that in a moment, my pre-shot routine, I always start with my feet together. The reason I do that is to make sure that ball is right off the instep of my front foot, then I take my stance. Now I know it's off the instep of my front foot. Okay? So that's how I do it. Pre-shot routine. Ladies, any of you who suffer from first tee jitters, get a pre-shot routine. And also a putting routine as well. You want to have those routines to help settle you over times that you find that shots that can make you nervous. So I find for sure a pre-shot routine. So that means every time you come up to the ball, you do the exact same thing. So my pre-shot routine is I stand behind the ball, I pick my target, I line my club up, find an intermediate target, then I line my club face up, and then I take my stance, and I'll go through the rest. But have that, whatever it is for you that works, but do it every time. And then you can focus on that versus the 15 people standing around the first tee watching you. Okay? So definitely get that pre-shot routine. Now, so we've got that off the instep of our front foot. Now I take my stance. I'm going to show you something really cool. I'm not a CPGA professional. A CPGA is the Canadian Professional Golf Association. So, like Kevin is a CPGA instructor. I am not. Now, I've taken many lessons from CPGA instructors, but I'm not an instructor. So these are just tips that happen to work for me, but I can't say enough. Go to a CPGA instructor to get that formal instruction to see what works for you. But these are just a few things you can try at the range in the meantime to see if it works for you. Now, so one of the things that I'm going to show you, so let's pretend, and I'm not going to hit a ball, ladies, so don't worry, but let's say my fairway was straight this way, okay? I'm going to put my feet dead straight, and I'm going to swing. That's as far as I can swing and turn with my feet dead straight. My belt buckle is facing my bag, okay? All I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my lead leg, my lead foot, and I'm going to fan it to a 45-degree angle. That's all I've changed. Only thing I've changed. Now I take my swing. Now my belt buckle is at the edge of the fairway. Look at that difference that I've made in a turn. That's going to equate to more yardage. Now, those of you who suffer from any knee problems, it's going to take some pressure off your lead knee. So, again, if you have knee problems, think about taking that front foot and fanning it to a 45-degree angle. My swing coach, when he has students that have two bad knees, he tells them to fan both of them out. I don't have two bad knees, so I just fan the front one out. And again, talk to Kevin or another CPGA instructor and see if that's something that would work for you. So, I get here. As I told you, I've lined that face up to the intermediate target. I stand with my feet together, then I take my stance, so I know it's off the instep. I fan that front foot. My next move is my grip, okay? My grip pressure. Grip is so important. You want to have it in your fingers. I'm not going to go over a lot of grip stuff tonight, but you want to make sure you don't have it in the palm of your hand. Ladies, if you start to wear out the palm of your grip, or you get holes in the palm of your grip, you have a grip issue. You need to talk to someone about that, okay? So you're not holding it properly. So again, and I used to wear out my gloves all the time. I wasn't holding it properly. So if you have that issue, go see a CPGA instructor to get that grip fixed, okay? So you want to make sure that's in your fingers. And I would say, just such an important tip, relax your hands. Relax your hands. On a scale of 1 to 10, your grip pressure should only be about a 2 or a 3. John Daly said at any point in his swing, you can pull the club out of his hands. That's how loose your grip pressure should be. Sam Snead compared it to holding a small bird in your hands. That's how you want to hold the club. I've heard it compared to holding a tube of toothpaste, right? And that's why when I compete at those corporate tournaments against those guys, I see them with the death grip on that club, and I just laugh because I know I'm going to beat them. Because, ladies, tension is a club head speed killer. Okay, so if you have that tight grip pressure, that means you've got tense hands, you've got tense forearms, you can't swing anywhere. You need to have relaxed, loose muscles. So you'll notice, right before I hit, one of the last things I do, I take a deep breath, I go, when I breathe out, that reminds me, relax those hands. Now sometimes we can have relaxed hands to here, and as soon as we start our downswing, it's like, you know, I do that too. But just try to focus on having that relaxed grip pressure throughout your entire swing, okay? It's tough, but it's something that you need to do. All right, so this would be, if you only took, I know I'm giving you 843 swing tips, and I did give Cheryl a list of these tips that we're talking about, so she will, so she will pass that on to all of you, and it's a general, it'll go through so you don't have to worry, because I know I've given you a lot of stuff right now. But if I could only pick 2 or 3, this next one is one I really, really need you to listen to, okay? And what that is you need to make a good turn. I watch so many ladies, and ladies are quite flexible. So ladies can make this awesome looking turn. And it looks like, wow, look at that. Look at that club head. It's that parallel. Man, they've made a good turn. You know what? All you've done is lifted your arms. You've made no turn at all. All you've done, just lifted those arms. What you need to do is think if this is the top half of your body, this is the lower half. You want to wind up with the top. That means you need to make a shoulder turn. You cannot just lift your arms. You have to turn that upper body. So my swing thought, I'm a big fan of swing thoughts, my swing thought is get your back to the target, okay? You want to try to get that back to the target. Now you might not be able to get your back to the target, but when you're swinging, don't lift those arms. You want to turn. You need to make a turn. And ladies, I guarantee you'll gain distance. If you can just take that, again, don't be moving anything down here. Just that top half of the body, and even go in a mirror. Practice in a mirror and turn. Practice turning your back to the target. Just get that feeling of what it feels like to turn. So that was tip number 1. The second thing that is a huge, huge, huge distance killer, when you get to the top of the backswing, if you start your downswing with your arms, you've lost all the power, coil, and torque you've built up. You've just lost 20, 30 yards right there, okay? So if this is the top, you're winding up from the top, you need to unwind from the bottom. Your first move has to be down here. And that can be either you're firing your pocket, you're turning your belt buckle, whatever that move is that makes you think lower body. Now, ladies, that is not a slide. That is not a slide, and you know what I'm talking about. So that doesn't mean whoop. No, can't do that. You have to turn that hip out of the way. You actually have to think of taking that pocket and turning it out of the way. That's going to add a lot and that's irons and drivers as well. You want to turn that. So again, wind up from the top. So if this is my fairway here, I got to get my back to the target, and my first move on my downswing is not my arms. It has to be my lower body, and it's got to be that turn. Okay? So, and you know what? Watch, again, LPGA and PGA Tour players, especially when they do slow instant replays, awesome. You'll get to see, Lorena Cho is one of the best at it. When she gets here, you absolutely see her get those hips turning. When you watch these players in magazines, they get to impact. When they're at impact, their hips are not dead straight at the ball. Their belt buckle's already at the target. Why? They've turned out of the way already. If you are here, and again, get video. If you can get a video camera of yourself, that would be awesome. Or even just a photo if you can, or get someone to take some photos of you. If your hips are dead straight at the ball at impact, you're not making a turn. You're not making a turn. So you've got to make sure you're making that turn. And again, you don't have to be quite like the pros when they're at impact that your belt buckle's at the target, but you have to show that you're moving through there. Okay? So, turn that back to the target. First move is not your arms, it's the lower body. The other thing when you do that, don't let that back arm, that trail arm fly away from you. You got to tuck that arm in. Okay? Tuck that arm in and keep swinging through the ball. Sometimes I get so excited to hit the ball that I'm like, woo! So I get up there and I hit that ball and I think my job is done, that I just kind of cruise through to the finish to that nice LPGA pose. And no way. Ladies, your club head has to be moving fastest after impact. Okay? Your club head needs to be moving fastest after impact. That means you have to be accelerating through the ball. Okay? Accelerating through the ball. So important. So when you're coming through, and even in your practice swing, you get there, you've turned that, made a good shoulder turn, you're firing with the lower body, get that elbow in, and swing. Swing through the ball. It should be moving fastest here. Here. And then here's the other thing. Ladies, if any of you finish your swing like this, on your back foot, and I've seen a lot of people do this, if you're finishing on your back leg, again, you've lost 20, 30 yards. Okay? You've got to transfer that weight to your front side. So make that shoulder turn, fire that lower body, keep swinging, get that weight onto your front foot. Okay? Again, weight onto the front foot, belt buckle towards the target. Okay? Think of, if you're wearing a belt buckle, think of getting that towards the target and finishing in balance. We talked about in our stretching, balance being so key in golf to accurate shots and powerful shots. You have to be in balance. So again, if you're wobbling, so if you hit your drive and you aren't able to maintain over the top foot, then you're not in balance and you've lost some accuracy and distance. You're giggling because you've done this. I can tell some people have done this before. We all have, and so I'm glad you can recognize that. A great drill if you're at the driving range, practice hitting balls and holding your finish until the ball lands. So hit the ball and wait till the ball lands, and then you come out of your follow through. Okay? So just to go through the pre-shot routine one last time, because I went again through like 843 things. Pick your targets. So mine would have been with that green tree. I line my club, stand behind the ball, take my driver, line it up over. I like to shut one eye when I do this. and find that intermediate target. That's the tuft to grass. I'm not going to line up to the ball just for a sec, ladies. So I'd face my club face at that target to get that bottom groove line perpendicular. Stand with my feet together so I make sure it's off my front foot. Take my stance, fan that front foot, relax my grip pressure. Make a good shoulder turn. Start with my lower body and keep swinging to my front side with my weight over my front foot, belt buckle towards the target, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Those are the things I'm focusing on. So pick that target. All right. Line that club face up. Then my feet up. There we go. Fan that front foot. Relax. There we go. Okay, so that's a good start. Good start. And now it felt a bit pulley, so I'm going to try that. We're going to hit a couple more here. Okay. Okay. There we go. Oh, that was a bit out to the right there. Getting a bit sprayy here. Oh, do I need to call 4? Thank you. I don't know the course. Okay, hold on. Okay, so that one I flared out to the right a bit. Sometimes I tend to do that if my grip pressure is too tight. So ladies, if you're always hitting your ball to the right, check your grip pressure. I'm going to relax mine. There we go. So that means thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, in long drive we get 6 balls. They don't all go straight. But thank you. But it's just realizing, I'm like, oh geez, I hit that to the right. Boy, you know what? I think my grip pressure might be a little tight, which doesn't allow me to release my hands. That keeps my club face open, so it sends it off to the right. So just stay nice and relaxed. Nice and relaxed. Here we go. There we go. So just getting it down there. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, another thing, ladies, I'm finding when when people are starting to hit, you want to make sure that you keep your weight. Again, this is irons and drivers, all of that. When you get to impact, don't let your head sneak above the ball. Sneak forward, because watch my driver when that happens. When I lean forward, I start to de-loft that club. So now your 13-degree driver has just become a 7-degree driver. And it's going to be really hard to get off the ground. So again, you want to keep that weight. When you get to the ball, don't sneak your head up. Stay behind it, okay? So let's go through that pre-shot routine. Okay, pick that target. Line that club face up first. Okay. Off the front foot. Relax. Oh, out to the right again. 4! Okay, we'll hit one more here. See if we get one more out there. All right, one more out there. Got to make it a good one. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we go. So a bit left there, but how it's drawing in. And it's a shot that I can play that down there in the fairway. Whoops. Rolled through a little bit. But it's kind of fun. But ladies, you know what? Exactly. Keep swinging. A lot of ladies I find aren't aggressive enough through their swings that they don't take a good enough rip at the ball. Don't be scared of the ball. Take a good rip at it and just keep swinging. Keep swinging. Like I watch a lot of ladies when they hit the ball. And again, you can get some good distance off it, but they hit the ball, they get behind, they line themselves up, and they swing like this. You know, and you can get 4, but you know, you can get a nice little poke out there, but you really haven't gotten anything into it. You got to take a good swing at that. But again, that's by creating the turns. All your power is going to be coming by creating upper body turn, lower body turn. You know what my coach tells juniors? Turn your shirt, turn your pants. He said just make it just completely simple so that you get up there, and if you're someone that likes really simple swing thoughts, turn your shirt, turn your pants. That's all it is. Turn your shirt, turn your pants. So we'll try one more here. So all I'm going to think, turn your shirt, turn your pants. There we go. So just something really simple like that, just turn your shirt, turn your pants. So very fun, very fun. And you know, ladies, who says women can't drive? Who says women can't drive? Very fun. Thank you very much for having me out tonight, ladies. I hope these tips helped you. Thank you. And if you have any questions, so Cheryl's going to give you my tips. All the tips are on there, and it's everything we talked about tonight. But if there was something that you were like, oh, what did Lisa say, or what was that? feel free to touch base with me. My website's lisalongball.com, so you can, my email's on there and all that. Hop on there if you have any questions. I believe in women helping women. Surround yourself with people who support you. Let's help each other out, okay? Let's make this a really great, let's help each other, okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you.